Baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and we're down to 2 road trips and 1 homestand for the Royals. Just 23 games to go, beginning with 3 here at Yankee Stadium. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and Joel Goldberg is coming up. This series begins with the Royals in first place. They have a 1-game lead. The Yankees are 9.5 games out in their division, but they still have a chance of making it to the playoffs.
They sure do. Now, I think all the people that follow the Royals, they all know what's at stake for that team. But the New York Yankees, they're used to going to postseason. If they don't, it'll be the 2nd year in a row they haven't gone. Wild card is all about this weekend in this series. It's going to be an exciting one.
And this game 1, the Royals could have their hands full. A pitching matchup between Michael Pineda and James Shields. It was the same matchup at the beginning of the last homestand, the subject of our AT&T U-verse Rewind.
That's right, Michael Pineda, he's on top of his game, even though he had missed most of the early part of the season. And James Shields, man, he is right on his game. Pitching to the defense, using his sinker. How about his changeup, working away from the hitter? He's inducing ground balls. That's the kind of game that they want to have tonight, but it could be low scoring. The offense has to not miss mistakes.
Pineda was the winner in that game, giving up just 2 runs in 6 innings. Game 1 of 3, the Royals and the Yankees, and the first pitch is coming up next. Baseball is brought to you by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Make your move to Chevrolet today. By the Missouri Lottery, try the new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by ATT U-verse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your world. Inside new Yankee Stadium. This is the 6th year of this ballpark and the site of a 3-game series between the Royals and the Yankees tonight, tomorrow late afternoon, Sunday, and then on to that 3-game series against the Tigers.
Yep, should be an exciting road trip, that's for sure. But first things first, it's all about finding a way to beat Michael Pineda. That'll be the key tonight.
So the Royals with a 1-game lead. It was a game and a half after their last game, but yesterday the Tigers beat the Indians, and now Detroit is at home tonight against Seattle. Royals lineup tonight presented by your Midwest Ford dealers, with Nori Aoki back in the leadoff spot. Billy Butler will be the designated hitter, and Ned Yost, even though it is tempting in this ballpark, just .314 down the right field line, he resisted loading his lineup up with left-hand hitters against Michael Pineda.
Yep, Ned, he wants to use the same guys that have been getting the job done for him all year long, and that's what we're seeing. And that instills a lot of trust in these players, a lot of confidence in them. So Ned's been doing a good job of that this season.
Well, let's see how the Royals do second time around against Michael Pineda, who pitched so well against the Royals back on the 25th, giving up just 1 earned run in 6 1/3 innings.
Yep, he won't be easy, but he does make mistakes out over the middle of the plate. You see that? He does have 3 losses on his record, and he does have an ERA, so he can be beaten. They've just got to be able to not miss the mistakes that he makes over the plate. He's a control pitcher, and he's got a power arm, so he's recorded 15 strikeouts and only 1 walk in his last 5 starts since early April. So they're going to have to pick a pitch out. He's a fastball, slider, changeup guy. He'll cut his fastball, and he does a lot of it naturally. The velocity is pretty impressive. He'll go up to 93 to 96. He's a big man, 6'7" and 270 pounds, and it'll be up to that offense to get James Shields some runs if they want to beat this team. Defensively, we're going to highlight Brian McCann. He's done a nice job with his pitchers this year at throwing runners out. Anything over 30 is really good.
And the Royals come in tonight. McCann, I'm sure, is aware of this, leading the American League in stolen bases. The Royals have 35 more stolen bases than the next closest team in the American League. And our umpiring crew. Gary Cedarstrom is the crew chief. He'll be at first base. Kerwin Danley is behind the plate tonight, with Chris Siegel at second and Lance Barksdale at third. Season series is tied at 2 games apiece. All 4 of those games played at Kauffman Stadium. There was the 3-game series, which was interrupted by the rainout, and then that final game was played during the first game of the last homestand. And if the Royals can win this series, they would win the season series from the Yankees for the first time in 15 years. Nori Aoki hit .308 during the homestand, and this is his first at bat against Michael Pineda. And we are underway. Fastball is high for ball 1. Royals were 5-4 on the homestand. That is with the pending suspended game, which the Royals will play in Cleveland next road trip. Out to short, and as the bleacher creatures were chanting Derek Jeter's name, Aoki hits it to him for the first out of the game. The roll call, as they call it, as the fans chant every player's name, and per tradition, the players will in some way salute the fans out in right field. Were they doing that when you were here?
Not as much, but I think they just started right after. It's interesting. It's one of the things that separates the Yankee Stadium from a lot of the other ones. Fans are really into it.
Now strike to Omar Infante. Omar's hit in 5 straight. Average up to 256 with those career high 59 RBIs.
Pineda has a 3/4 arm slot. It's a pretty conventional delivery. Sharp breaking downward bite to his slider. He'll use that when he gets ahead of guys to try to finish him off. And he'll double up with those sliders. Average velocity on his fastballs at 92.7.
2-1.
Try to get to him early when the Royals score first. Their record is 53-19.
And that's out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ball was out over the middle of the plate. Good pass on it. Now, Pineda's a below average fielder. You can tell at 6'7", 270. He's not that agile. Sometimes, his actions are a little bit slow, and especially on bunts. Not a bad idea to bunt on this guy.
Full count with Alex Gordon on deck.
It's a hard fastball with some cutting action on it.
Shallow right center. Ellsbury from center calling off Ichiro Suzuki. 2 down.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy Coleman, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Alex Gordon had some kind of homestand. 4 home runs, 9 runs scored, 8 driven in. Leading the Royals with 19 home runs, 65 RBIs. It's interesting with all the dramatic shifts in the game today that not every team plays every player the same. And the Yankees have a very exaggerated triangle-like shift to the right side. It's not typical for Alex. There's usually some sort of a shift over to the right, but they are really stacking the right side.
They got a little triangle defense going over there, but it's not going to bother Alex. That ball he hit out of Kauffman Stadium was in left center. Might give Alex a little more incentive to think opposite field, and when you think that way as a hitter, you're looking middle away. When that one comes inside, you'll automatically just turn on it. It won't take much for Alex to pull one here tonight.
McCann wanted that. He held it out there for home plate umpire Kerwin Danley. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's that slider in. Very tempting. Just off the plate. Good eye. Think opposite field, react in.
3-2. Four home runs in the last 10 days for Alex, and over a little longer stretch than that, 7 home runs in his last 16 games. There's that hard slider. Alex got McCann with his follow through. 3 up, 3 down for Pineda with a strikeout. James Shields to the mound when we come back.
back at Yankee Stadium right outside of the Royals dugout, and we just saw that roll call by the folks out in the bleachers, and the names have changed quite a bit for the Yankees. They actually lowered their payroll this year. They're under $200 million for opening day, but a lot of their big guns are out or underperforming. And when you look at Derek Jeter, Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, combined .244 batting average. A-Rod is suspended. CC Sabathia out for the year. Masahiro Tanaka on the disabled list. All of those names that I mentioned, minus A-Rod, made a combined $94.5 million this year. That doesn't include A-Rod, who's back next year. Now it's names like Headley, Drew, and McCarthy trying to lead the way for the Yankees. Ryan?
All right, Joel, thank you. It is truly the end of an era when Derek Jeter retires at the end of this year because, well, I guess maybe Brett Gardner, but who's the guy that you look at in that lineup and you go, he's a Yankee?
There are none. Not in his league, anyway.
James Shields will get Ellsbury, Jeter, and Gardner.
Yanks will be trying to pick out something straight, like most hitters. They'll be looking at a two-seam fastball from James Shields. He averages about 92.4 miles per hour to his two-seam and four-seam fastball. He might get it up there a little bit harder with a four-seamer, but he cuts his fastball. Changeup.
And Fonte throws him out. One down in the bottom of the first.
He'll mix in a few curveballs. But mainly that pitch there that he just retired Ellsbury on was his changeup. That's really his signature out pitch.
James Shields, our Kia starting pitcher for tonight. This is the 31st time that he has faced the New York Yankees, and the third time this year. He has one good start. That was in June. No earned runs in 6 innings, and one not so good start. He gave up 6 runs in 6 2/3 innings on the last homestand. This is the 93rd at bat for Jeter against Shields, and he jumps on the first pitch. And Shields has 2 ground ball outs on just 3 pitches.
James Shields and all of the other 4 starting pitchers, including the bullpen, love to pitch to this defense here, and why not? Because they can save runs if they do get in the air. The outfield is fantastic. They all throw. Hosmer, 4 started first base since returning from the DL. Anytime you can add a Gold Glover to your lineup, that's a bonus. But they expect a lot from his bat, and he's been looking pretty crisp. He's making some solid contact offensively.
Brett Gardner batting third. Typically at the very top of the order, as in first or second, and then earlier in his career hitting 9th. But Gardner has a career high 16 home runs, a career high 56 RBIs.
He's been their bus driver, so he is putting in a run producing slot in the order.
Gardner was injured when the Yankees were at Kauffman Stadium during the last homestand. He had a sore ankle as a result of some foul balls. One and two. Martin Prado had been playing in his place, and Prado right now is one of the Yankees' hottest hitters, but now he's been out with a hamstring injury.
And that's not bad, as Prado hit a big home run off James Shields last time these two met.
3 ground balls, 3 outs for Shields on just 7 pitches in the bottom of the first inning. Well, it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown during tonight's game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Quick innings for both Michael Pineda and James Shields. And now Pineda will get Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, and Billy Butler. Sal didn't have the home runs that Alex had on the homestand, but he also drove in 8 runs, as Alex did. He had 1 home run during the homestand and carries a 5-game hitting streak into tonight. 1-1.
And he's 2 for 6 off Pineda. That was a good visual on that slider. It starts out at the hitter and then it ends up over the middle of the plate. So they'll be making some mental notes of that pitch. There it was. He threw the exact same pitch again, Salvi just out in front of him. Pitch recognition for a hitter is of the utmost importance. You've got to be able to find that release point as soon as you can to pick up the rotation. Previous pitch was the same one, and he saw it, but he just couldn't time it the way he wanted to.
That's back into the crowd, still 1-2.
Royals have seen plenty of pitchers that throw 95 miles an hour and 93 with their sliders. And it's all about when you get that pitch, do all you can to stay on it and find a hole.
That slider stayed up, and Sal was all over it.
Hitters can be in swing mode. The fact that Pineda does not walk very many guys, that's going to put the offense on the alert to be swinging early in the count. It's good for a pitcher, especially if you're missing bats, but for hitters, they're a lot more confident when they step in there against a guy that they know are going to get something in that at bat to hit. Want to be aggressive.
0-1 to Hosmer. Back from the disabled list during the homestand. He went 2 for 11 and stole a base. 2 home runs here in 10 games, 8 RBIs, including one he will never forget, one we will never forget. His first major league home run. Can't believe that was 3 years ago. Back in May of 2011 against A.J. Burnett. Look at that young guy running the bases.
How about it? Looked like a cookie right down the middle, straight as a string. Didn't miss it. Yes, Mom, your son has arrived.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Hosmer 1 for 3 in his career against Pineda, and that one was a homer.
Back to Pineda, who makes a nice play. Not a great feed, and Jeter did not touch second base, so he had to go back to get it, and that prevents a double play.
Quick reactions from Pineda. Nice play, but he didn't get his feet underneath it. Throwing off balance. Hard to get a good accurate throw off that way. He had plenty of time. Now for Billy, he wants to keep that focus to right center field, especially in the situation where there's 1 out. Billy has grounded into 20 double plays this year. You think opposite field, your hands don't roll over. They stay through the ball.
So Pineda, thinking along those lines, pitches him inside.
He's 1 for 9 off Pineda in his career. Usually that's a pickoff throw.
And Hosmer was only a couple of steps off the bag.
Hosmer might attempt to go here. Not necessarily for a steal, but like I was saying, to stay out of a double play. He has stolen 4 bases, has been caught twice.
We haven't seen a lot of Brian McCann. This is his first year in the American League, but something I've noticed tonight is that he is in no hurry to put the sign down. I don't know if that's just for Pineda or his style, but that last shot we had, he was really sizing up Billy Butler, seeing where his feet were in the box, maybe trying to read some body language.
Of course, they're the quarterbacks. It all starts when they start it, by putting a sign down, and they can tell sometimes they try to think along with the hitter.
Off the end of the bat, Ellsbury comes in to make the play. Two down. Don't forget, parents, to sign the kids up for Slugger's Blue Crew. It's the best kids club in Major League Baseball. And the kids receive a limited edition t-shirt, a cap, 2 free tickets, a free stadium tour, free passes to the outfield experience, and more. It's valued at over $100, and now you can get it for just $15. So sign up at Royals.com/Blue Crew.
Heck of a bargain the way the Royals are playing. 10 games left, starting on the 11th of this month through the 21st. Red Sox, White Sox, Tigers. Get the kids out to the K.
Showed you Eric Hosmer's first major league home run here. A year later, Mike Moustakas, it wasn't his first major league home run, but he homered in his first at bat at Yankee Stadium. So he wasn't fazed by the history of this place.
You know, you see the ball extremely well here. I think it's maybe that black hitter's eye in their center field area there. It's just, you could see nothing but a white ball come out of this area. And that really helps as far as I talked about how hitters have to be able to pick up the release point and the rotation of that ball. Sure helps when you have a nice backdrop. One Moose just wants to look middle in.
Pass to Shera, but backed up by the second baseman Drew, who's playing in shallow right field. So Moustakas is out, and so are the Royals in the second inning. And our sprint question of the night asks you, who will be the toughest starting pitcher the Royals will face on this trip? And it is possible that B, believe it or not, will be the least toughest. Did you ever think that would be possible?
No, but you know, as the season evolves, you might be right. I think Verlander could be the easiest. I mean, tonight, Pineda, Royals haven't shown they can beat him yet. But I think Scherzer will be up for it. Every pitcher's tough. But I could probably say Pineda or Scherzer. Happy I'm up here in the booth not having to face either one of them guys.
Carlos Beltran. A tough first year for him. Still has 15 home runs. He's been on the disabled list twice. 2 balls and 1 strike. He's had problems with his throwing elbow, his right elbow, and he was also on the DL with a concussion. At the knees, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Shields has faced Beltran 14 times. Beltran 1 for 10 with 4 walks. Nasty pitch, and Shields picks up his first strikeout.
Boy, that has some wicked cutting action to that one.
Here's our league leaders for tonight, presented by your Kansas City Toyota dealers. Royals continue to be one of the best teams on the road. They're 10 games above 500 away from Kauffman Stadium, with pitching leading the way. In fact, that ERA 3.16, while that's second in the major leagues. If the season ended today, that would be the best road record in Royals history, or road ERA in Royals history.
Well, they got one of their best road warriors on the mound tonight in James Shields.
Escobar way over to the right side of second base to get Brian McCann 2 down. So here's what he's done this year. ERA isn't much different, but the record is 8-2 on the road and 18-5 on the road for the Royals the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A road warrior, a guy who can get it done in the opponent's ballpark.
Mark Teixeira with 2 down, nobody on.
Well, I would guess by looking at the way the Royals are defending Teixeira, they expect him to pull the ball.
He had a big home run last night. The Yankees were down by 1 in the 9th inning to the Red Sox with Koji Uehara on the mound. Teixeira homered to lead off the inning. That tied the game, and then with 1 out, Chase Headley homered to win the game. 1-2.
He's only hit a .125 off of Shields in his career. See that right there, those numbers. A lot of pretty large sample size, but not the largest. Jeter has 92 at-bats off of James Shields.
And that's probably the pitch he was having trouble with. A James Shields changeup. He's knocked down the first 6 with 2 strikeouts in the 2nd inning.
fans, we have here tonight some special guests. An all-star United Soccer team from Special Olympics, Kansas. This inclusive team of volunteers and Special Olympic athletes has traveled with Sporting KC to play after their match tomorrow evening at Red Bulls Arena. And we are happy that they are here at the ballpark. It's really a wonderful opportunity for these young people. And good luck tomorrow night as they play against a Special Olympic New Jersey team right after tomorrow's Major League Soccer match with Sporting KC at New York's Red Bulls Stadium. So we're happy you're here, folks. Hope you could bring us a win.
Lorenzo Cain takes a strike. Lorenzo's had a good year against the Yankees. 13 at-bats and 6 hits. Cain, Escobar, Aoki coming up here in the third. Good start for both pitchers. We've only had one runner. Perez had a leadoff single in the second inning. And James Shields has retired all 6 he has faced. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's going to give you something good, and that last pitch to Cain was right down the middle. Got to be ready. Got to be ready to swing that bat.
Swing it he does. A lot of room in left center field here, and Gardner runs it down. 1 away. Remember, Beers of the K is back next Friday. The Royals are hosting the Red Sox. Join us for this pregame event and enjoy unique beer options such as Miller Coors Blue Moon Harvest Pumpkin Ale, Leinenkugel Uber Oktoberfest, Boulevard's Tank 7, and Ginger Lemon Radler. This is one of those enunciation tests.
It's all right.
And also Anheuser-Busch's Goose Island Rambler and the Ogden.
Did a nice job with them.
And there you have it. Off speed, Escobar out in front.
Talking with Dale Swaim, hitting coach for the Royals before the game, I was asking him about the approach they would have against Pineda. And he said, be aggressive, be ready to swing. I'd like to see them make some solid contact, but if they don't, I want to see some hard checks. And I said, hard checks? What do you mean by that exactly? He said, well, back when he was a player for the Cubs and Tony Muser was his hitting coach, he used to talk to him about being ready to hit that pitch. And if you have to check your swing hard, then that tells me you were ready to hit that pitch. He says, don't just go up there with your bat on your shoulders and not be ready to hit. So that was the term that Swaim told me today, hard checks.
Sounds like a hockey term.
Yeah, I'd never heard that before. But he said Tony Muser, and you know Tony, he's a character guy, but he had his own type of language that he used for hitters. But it makes sense, though, doesn't it? Like you're ready to hit. Instead of just standing up there not looking like you're ready to hit that fastball, he's saying be ready tonight. Pineda is going to be coming at you.
And you really do have to be ready every pitch because you never know when you're going to get that one pitch to hit.
That's what he's wanting to instill in this offense. Stay aggressive. And you can get a slider up, anything that's up, and if you're a right-handed hitter and you're behind it, you got a chance if you can just meet the middle of the ball and get a little underneath it and send it out to right field. You don't have to be a left-handed hitter to hit homers here. Any mistakes that are up, you put a good level swing on it, that ball will travel out that way.
Escobar's fouled off 3 straight, still 2-2. Another foul ball.
Sometimes when hitters face a pitcher that's going to toy around with you, especially when you get 2 strikes on you, it makes you think more. And you're going, well, I don't know if he's going to try to nibble here, if he's going to throw me a waste pitch. But against Pineda, he's going to come at you. Makes it almost easier. That's why Escobar's on every pitch, because he's ready. He's ready to hit it.
And he doesn't give up many hits, Michael Pineda. He throws a lot of strikes, but not a lot of hits. Now you look at this line here, and no real number jumps out at you. Just looks like a good, solid line. But the key number is 7 hits. Pineda had 15 consecutive starts, allowing 6 hits or less. So 7, I mean, that's a mountain of hits against him. So just a very odd combination of very few walks, because he's always in the strike zone, but not many hits.
No. 10th pitch coming to Escobar. Wants to win it. Getting closer and closer, and when that happens, you have a nice long AB going. Usually the confidence is at an all-time high for the hitter. Escobar looking for a cookie. Been getting a few, just hadn't been able to square him up.
Escobar has fouled off 6 in a row. And he hits it hard and past Headley at third base. So we'll see how they score that. Escobar is going to try for 2 on Gardner. And he's in. He got around the tag. I think he caught Gardner off guard.
Oh, that's called pedal to the metal. He hit that ball hard. That could easily be a hit, but they're going to rule it an error. But doesn't matter. Escobar, he's taking advantage. Took off. It looked like Headley slowed the ball down maybe just a little bit. And by the time Gardner came up to throw, Escobar, he'd already had double in mind. That's a very aggressive play on Escobar's part. Take what they give you. You got speed, use it.
That's one of those calls that could go either way. The ball was hit very hard, but in watching the replay, and of course we always have to be very careful watching a super slow motion replay, because the play always looks easier, but there really was no hop. The ball just went right by his glove.
Well, I can tell you that's not a routine play. That ball was hit hard, and it had a couple of bounces on it, and he missed it. But sometimes the official score will give you a better call and a better read when it's hit so hard, but it doesn't really matter. Just get the run home. He's at second base. Aoki, 11 for his last 22, 23, 24 now.
Here comes Escobar. So the air and the aggressive base running leads to the first run of the game. Nori comes through again with a runner in scoring position, and the Royals strike first.
Timely. Looking early in the count. There it was. Right down the middle at 93. Escobar hustling into second base on the air. Comes home with no problem. Jershely's going to send any runner he possibly can tonight. Hard to score runs off Pineda, and they got on the board first.
So now Nori is hitting .500 in his last 24 at bats with runners in scoring position.
Timely.
Fouled away by Infante. Omar flied to center in the first inning. Yankees have pitched him well this year. He's just 1 for 15 against New York.
Cutters and sliders, those are the ones that go away from the righty. He likes to bury him down and away. Slider has a little bit more break to it than his cutter.
Got it in on him. And McCann has just enough room. 2 outs. Remember to vote for the Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you'll be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. Pineda struck out Alex in the first inning, got him with a slider down and in.
You know, Alex can't wait to perform here in New York on the big stage. The rest of the way, every game's extremely crucial, critical for the Royals, but to do it here in New York, where you have a history of postseason play, it's a good test for the young Royals.
A swing, and it's 0-1.
That's what Dale Swain considers a hard check. Hard check swing. Means he was ready to hit. Couldn't check his swing, but that was he was thinking hit. Aoki, he'll run if he gets a pitch. 15 out of 20. Steals.
One and one.
But to take a chance to get thrown out with 2 outs with Alex Gordon hitting, maybe this early, not that advisable. Let's maybe stay there and at least become you're already a threat to steal. So if Alex gets a hold of one, 2 runs is better than 1.
He is running. McCann got a good pitch to throw on. It comes in high, and then Aoki overslid the bag. So a tough ending to the inning, but a good beginning. Now Cetus Escobar reaches on an air with aggressive base running. He gets to second. And Nori Aoki brings him home.
Speed kills.
So much to see here in New York, especially for some of the young kids that have never been here before, making their first trip to the Bronx and also staying over in Manhattan. I asked Terrence Gore, first time to New York? Yeah. What do you think? He said, It's really, really busy. There's a lot happening here. And Lane Adams said, yeah, it is busy, and I don't want to get near that subway. I saw a lot of crazy stuff happen on there when I was watching Seinfeld. These young guys, well, Rusty Kuntz, not missing a beat, walks over to those young guys, and he says, I got a quiz for you. He says, you know, if any of you ever go down to winter ball, you might see some crazy things. So here's a trivia question for you young guys. Bases loaded, ball's hit to the outfield, and a pig runs onto the field. And he eats the baseball. What's the call? What happens? And these kids are sitting there just thinking about every scenario. It's a dead ball. It's a ground rule double. And they're scratching their heads, and they're thinking. And Rusty looks at him, and he says, no, it's an inside the pork home run. Ryan?
That's a Bruce Chin joke.
As you might say, Ryan.
Can't beat fun at the old ballpark.
And when you're a young guy that has never been up in the big leagues and your first ever road trip is to New York, I don't think these guys want to get out and see a whole lot. They're fine by the hotel to the stadium, back and forth, because this isn't like taking the buses or the commercial flights of the minor leagues. And there's Rusty to impart his wisdom.
Just keeping the guys loose, which they're already doing a good job of themselves.
Can be overwhelming. I've known players to walk outside a hotel, you have their first trip in New York, walk a half a block and turn around and go back. Order room service.
Sensory overload.
Oh,
at least the first day it is. James Shields has set down the first 7 Yankees, and he has struck out 3 of the last 4.
Right down the middle, a little bit up in the zone, keeping it out of the wheelhouse. Stephen Drew's got some pretty good numbers against James. I think he's 7 for 15 with 1 homer.
Chase Headley shattered his bat, and then he stumbled coming out of the box, so Escobar has all kinds of time. And now Shields has knocked down the first 8. One more chance to cheer on Alex Gordon in his special fan section, Gordo Nation. You'll get this limited edition Gordo Nation t-shirt and a seat near Alex in left field for just $35. And that last chance is coming up on Thursday as the Royals will host the Red Sox. Royals.com/Gordo Nation for tickets. Two down to Ichiro Suzuki. Ichiro was 6 out of 13 against the Royals, and he's a .363 career hitter against the Royals. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Has that swing where he's fallen out of the left-handed batter's box on contact, so he's already leaning towards first. In his early years, when he made contact to the left side of the infield, a 2-3 hopper, you couldn't throw him out. He just had that kind of speed. But this time in his career, he's not able to beat those balls out like he did, but he's still an effective slap type hitter.
Good changeup.
James Shields' changeup is much more effective when it's at that speed, 85 or even below, 84, 83, because that varies the time between his two-seam fastball and his changeup. It gives a big cushion in between velocities to get him off balance.
Jammed him. Moustakas plays a short hop, and Suzuki still runs well, but he's out. James Shields opens the game with 3 perfect innings. Baseball is brought to you by Panera Bread. The new location is opening September 23rd at College and King in Overland Park. And by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com.
Okay, Moose is aggressive, and he should have been. Coming after that ball is a nice thing to see because he's going to get the speedy Ichiro. If he lays back for the big hop, he might have had some trouble getting him out at first base. So not only are we seeing an aggressive offense by the Kansas City Royals facing Pineda, but a good aggressive play on defense got that inning over.
Alex was at the plate in the third inning when Aoki was caught stealing. That was the final out. So he gets a brand new count, ball one. 0 for 1 tonight.
That's what I like to call the bonus at bat. He saw 3 pitches for free. Now he comes up again, and so that's an extra 3 pitches he wouldn't have got to see.
Pineda struck him out with a slider down and in, first time up.
Yeah, plate appearance since it didn't count. Wasn't at bat.
That is the third baseman Headley, who is on the right side of second base. So that's a 5-3 scoring play. 1 down. Remember, the Royals and Yankees will be televised nationally tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. A doubleheader of MLB action. The Giants and Tigers play on Fox. And then the Royals and the Yankees at 3 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Visit foxsports1.com for channel numbers. And tomorrow, Darren Sutton will have the play-by-play along with Tom Verducci. So you will enjoy listening to them tomorrow. And then we're back on Fox Sports Kansas City on Sunday. Sunday's a little earlier than normal. 1:05 here, 12:05 back in Kansas City. So Ivy Royals Live will begin in the morning on Sunday at 11:30. One and two on Sal. He singled to center field in the second inning.
It's another hard check swing. I'm going to keep track of the check swings tonight.
And another base hit for Sal. Once again, he got a pitch up. This time he rips a fastball into left field. He is 2 for 2. Let's go to Joel.
Well, looking forward to Danny Duffy pitching here tomorrow on Fox Sports 1. And Danny's never been here before, although he had been at the old Yankee Stadium. This back in 97 or maybe 98, a family trip. And Danny, there he is, a young Danny Duffy at Yankee Stadium. And the Duffys had a relative that worked for the team, so they put his name up on the Jumbotron here. Danny said he also got a ball that was tossed to him that day by Eddie Guardado. And then the family went on to Cooperstown. And that was a memorable trip. Tomorrow perhaps memorable in a different way, because Danny, his first year, didn't get here to Yankee Stadium. He hadn't been called up yet. Second year, he blew out his elbow. Last year, he hadn't come back yet up with the big league team. So this is his first day at Yankee Stadium, other than that one appearance across the street when he was a little kid.
Oh, and 2 on Eric Hosmer. 1998 doesn't seem that long ago, no. Does it? I mean, there's little Danny Duffy.
Everyday Eddie made his day. Just saw a changeup. He'll use that against lefties. pretty effective. Starts in, goes away, compared to that slider coming in. Pretty nasty.
Pitches. Yep.
Yeah, that's filthy.
It's the same pitch that got Gordon back in the first inning.
Previous pitch was a changeup that moved the other way, and he's got that coming in. That really can baffle a hitter. Could barely see the dot. A well-thrown slider, you see the dot as a hitter on the baseball.
So Sal at first with 2 down, and now Billy Butler. Pineda got Billy on a fly ball to center in the second inning. Not only is that a hard slider and does it break sharply, but it breaks very late. That might have something to do with the check swings you were talking about, that until the last moment it looks like a fastball. Two and 0. Three and 0. Some hitters don't like to swing when the count is 3-0. Billy Butler is not one of those hitters. He will swing. And that pitch was a little too high. And McCann makes a play in foul territory. So he was looking for a pitch up. That was too far up. And Pineda gets around the Perez single in the 4th inning. Lead 1-0 to the bottom of the 4th inning. The Royals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri are teaming up to help you stop smoking. And for more information, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. On the other side, James Shields has faced 9 and retired 9. All of his outs have either been strikeouts or groundouts.
As long as they're outs, I don't think James really cares. But the defense, they're on their toes ready for ground balls. That outfield hadn't had a lot of action yet.
Now it can be a dangerous ballpark if you're allowing fly balls toward the lines and to right field, but there are also big parts of this ballpark. A lot of room in right center, center field, and especially left center field. It is the deepest left center field in baseball, 399 feet. So there's room for error in the gaps, not a lot of room for error down the lines. Ellsbury grounded to second base in the first inning. Righted Lorenzo Cain, and Shields has retired the first 10. You saw Hy-Vee Royals live tonight. Joel mentioned that it was 7 years ago today that the legendary Bob Shepard was public address announcer for the last time. Can't believe it's been 7 years, but we get to hear his voice when Derek Jeter comes to the plate, as Jeter insists that it's Bob Shepard's recorded voice that announces him every time he comes to the ballpark. So when you start thinking about eras that are going to come to an end this year in New York, that's another one, the voice of Bob Shepard. There's another ground ball out for Shields, and 2 down in the fourth inning.
And another first pitch out. 33 pitches. Boy, I'll tell you, he keeps mowing them down early like this. He's in line for a complete game if he can just keep his ball moving and dancing and keeping it down on the ground.
Brett Gardner grounded out to Hosmer in the first inning. Jumping ahead with strike one. We've been saying that all night. That pitch has disappeared on Gardner, and it's 0-2. Rain in Detroit, and it's also raining runs as the Giants lead 6-0. Wow. Into the gap in right center field. The Yankees get their first runner. And with Gardner's speed, he'll still stop at second base. And he looked like he may have decided too soon that that was going to be a double. Because when Cain bobbled it, he had a tough time finding that gear again.
Yep, you're right. He started slowing down 15 steps before second base, and then when he changed gears again, he decided he would just stay there with 2 outs. But he had 3 all the way. You know, he just didn't look 100% going around the bases either.
You mentioned the sore ankle.
Yeah, the ankle, you know, and a lot of other things are bothering these players this time of year. He did the right thing. Pull up, scoring position is all that's necessary, especially with 2 outs.
Good ball, get Beltran.
Sounded like it hit his foot. What I heard was maybe a bounce. I don't know. It didn't look like it hit him. Oh, it caught that pad.
The flap on the shin guard.
It caught the flap on the shin guard.
Best way to get hit by a pitch, right?
Oh, no
Nick
bruises.
the jersey or
yeah. That's the 11th hit batter of the year for James Shields. That's second behind Guthrie, who has 13 on the team.
So a 2 down and nobody on. The Yankees get a double and a hit batter. And now McCann takes a strike. Shields got him on a ground ball to short in the second inning.
James has had some nice changeups tonight. 85, that one was up, but the one that he threw to Gardner at 81, that ball just, the bottom fell out. So the less velocity on his changeup, the more action he gets.
Another good one. 0-2.
Nothing too good here. Perfect.
Moustakas over from third, and he makes the play. So Shields gets around the double and the hit batter. He has 4 scoreless innings, and the Royals lead 1-0. Mike Moustakas will lead off the 5th inning. Your Kansas City Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
I'm telling you, Moose will be hunting out that same pitch that he did at the K off Pineda.
And he grounded out sharply his first time up. He was the victim of that overshift as he thought he had a base hit. Hit it sharply off the glove of the first baseman Teixeira, but Drew, the second baseman, was there, who threw back to Teixeira, so it was a 3-4-3. And there they are, overshifting again, stacking the right side.
And if I'm Moose and he plays in the entire 3 games, all 3 of these games, I'm only going to think about left field, maybe with 2 strikes. He just needs to belly up to that dish and look for anything out over he can put over the fence.
Got Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire, 1-1.
Only 11 hits to left field all year long for Moose. With this the 23rd game left of the season, forget left field now. While you're here at Yankee Stadium, you can get up underneath one, pop one up, and it can go over the 314 side.
One and two. Lorenzo Cain on deck, followed by Alcides Escobar. And that's ruled a swing. Pineda's third strikeout, all on that pitch. One down. Let's go back to Joel.
Well, Ryan, our first Mazda game break. Some big news in Major League Baseball today involving Ron Washington, who in a statement said, quote, "Today I have submitted my resignation from the job I love, managing the Rangers, in order to devote my full attention to addressing an off-the-field personal matter. As painful as it is, stepping away from the game is what's best for me and my family." Ron Washington took 2 Rangers teams to the World Series, decimated by injuries this year. General Manager John Daniels said that the resignation had nothing to do with on-field performance. It also was not any type of relapse or substance abuse related. He had failed a drug test, Ron Washington, in 2009. So some kind of personal matter that they did not discuss further. But quotes from Derek Holland, quote, "It crushed me." And Matt Harrison, I'm really going to miss that guy. This was a very energetic, well-liked manager in Texas who has stepped away from the game.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a more across-the-board well-liked man in the game than Ron Washington. Two down.
I felt the way Holland felt. When I heard that news, I was like, oh man, Ron Washington's worked so hard in his career. So many years as an infield instructor for major league teams. And then he gets his managerial job, the dream of a lifetime, and he's got to step away. Now we wish him all the best. And you wonder if Major League Baseball, who picked him to go to Japan in November for a Major League Baseball All-Star team, they picked him to manage the team. You wonder who they'll pick now.
And Ron Washington had some Royals roots. While he never played for the Royals, he was a graduate of the Royals Academy, which also produced Frank White, UL Washington. 2 balls and no strikes. Escobar reached on an error first time up, and with aggressive base running really caught the Yankees off guard, and he took second base on a ground ball that guy by the third baseman Headley, and in doing so he was able to score on Aoki's single.
Outside of James Shields' so far masterful performance, that was the play of the game. Speed is an element in the game of any professional sport that you can excel at if you have it. You have power or speed, the 2 main commodities in professional sports. You got a chance to make a good living for your family and be a star. But if you just have one or the other, that's okay. But Escobar has the speed.
Out into left center. Gardner's there to make the play. And that's all for the Royals in the 5th inning. 4.5 played. Royals lead the Yankees 1-0. families of the Royals and member of the Royals front office taking in this weekend series at Yankee Stadium. Well, there's no real good segue from that to this, but if your dog is a Royals fan, here's another chance for you to bring your canine to Kauffman Stadium. It's on Wednesday, September 17th. It's Bark at the Park, Part 2. For just $35, you get a ticket for both you and your dog, and a Royals dog mat, plus a donation will be made to KC Pet Project for every ticket purchase. In order to attend, you must be registered beforehand. Mark Teixeira struck out against Shields in the second inning, and we were looking at his numbers when Teixeira was batting in the second, and now he is 6 for 49 all time against Shields. Oh, and 2.
4 more starts in the regular season for James Shields after tonight. And if he can be the real big game James, that could be a huge boost in September. He continues to go out and do what he's been doing.
Stephen Drew and Chase Headley will follow Teixeira in this inning. Two balls, 2 strikes. Shields has really kept the ball down to Teixeira and the Yankees. Of his 12 outs, there have only been 2 in the air. Everything else on the ground or by way of a strikeout. And another strikeout.
No question what the dominant pitch is for James tonight. That changeup is filthy. And it's breaking it at least a foot. 83 miles an hour. Hard to hit a ball going away from you. You can make some contact, you can foul it off. He keeps that pitch right down there. That's a 2-seamer at 93.
Drew struck out. Shields got him with a fastball in the third inning. A tough year for Stephen Drew. He got that late start. Signed late with the Red Sox and then traded over to the Yankees. 1-1. I think we're all interested to see how many players like Stephen Drew, Kendrys Morales will be turning down that qualifying offer.
Nelson Cruz.
Nelson Cruz. Two down as Alex retires Stephen Drew. Remember, the Royals are on national TV tomorrow. First, it's the Giants and Tigers on the Fox network at 11:30, and then on Fox Sports 1, it's the Royals and the Yankees. Beginning at 3 p.m., visit foxsports1.com for channel numbers. Danny Duffy against Brandon McCarthy, who's pitched very well for the Yankees after that trade with Arizona. Danny Duffy having a breakout season for the Royals, and that's tomorrow.
The Yankees got their 3 best starters facing the Royals in this series.
Headley cracked his bat and grounded out to short in the third inning. Base hit right field.
This is a changeup here that stayed in the middle. Didn't get it off the plate enough.
Ichiro Suzuki grounded out to third in the third inning. In his 63rd at bat against Shields. Fastball in for a strike. Ichiro, not the player he once was, but man, that's a high standard. Remember, he had that stretch of 10 consecutive years with a Gold Glove and at least 200 hits. All of that with the Seattle Mariners, and then traded to the Yankees for a couple of minor league pitchers, at least minor league pitchers at the time. Two and one that had Ichiro and Kerwin Danley, the home plate umpire, taking evasive action.
Yeah, you know, Kerwin Danley, he's had his issues over his tenure as an umpire, and that's head high, and he's taken some off the mask. He's had to miss some time umpiring because of the concussion, and he's got a special mask that has like a little shock absorbers on both sides of the mask attached to the helmet to try to absorb the shock and the energy of that baseball. See on the side there, those two little things that absorbs the blow there. It's like a shock absorber. Those two things on the side, and when the mask, when the ball hits the mask, it absorbs some of the energy.
And when the season's over, he has to give that mask back to Darth Vader.
It's a little bit far-fetched. It's out there, man, that mask. And you know, they're constantly trying to find ways to be able to absorb that energy. And before the game, there's Tony Pena, Girardi. They're looking at a new mask that's on the market now that has similar stuff. It's got the same kind of hinges out there on the side, just to try to protect these catchers.
There's the former Royals manager. He gets a chance to see his son Francisco. He was called up a few days ago. Still 2-2. And speaking of Tony Pena and Francisco, during Hy-Vee Royals Live on Sunday, Joel had a sit down with father and son. To Moustakas, got a chance to throw at Ichiro again, and he does. One hit, one left, and at the end of 5, the Royals still lead 1-0. Not much offense, but a lot of pitching to the first 5 innings. And there's the only man who has driven in a run tonight, Nori Aoki, back in the 3rd inning. He'll lead off our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Paige Merritt or Merritt. We had a very spectacular debate over the pronunciation of Page's last name. Page is from Lawrence. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Page wins $5,500. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Page wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. And I'm assuming if Page wins in this inning, she, assuming Page is a she, couldn't care less how we pronounced her last name.
Not at all.
We got the Page part right.
Yeah. I don't think you've ever mispronounced a name anyway, have you?
Oh, yes, many times.
Kerwin Danley. He's a ball magnet tonight.
One and one to Nori. He singled to center back in the 3rd inning, driving in Escobar, who had reached on an error, and Nori's also grounded out to short. Tough play for Jeter, and he makes it look easy. Join your fellow Royals fans at Johnny's Tavern in Shawnee this upcoming Tuesday to watch the Royals take on the Tigers. Party starts at 6 p.m. with special appearances from the K Crew and former Royal John Mayberry, Royals Hall of Famer John Mayberry. Plus, all fans in attendance have a chance to walk away with many great prizes, including tickets to an upcoming Royals home game. That is coming up on Tuesday the 9th. Infante is flied to center and fouled out to the catcher.
Earlier tonight I mentioned I learned a new phrase in baseball from Dale Swaim. He called them hard checks. And I said, what's a hard check? He said, that's when guys are ready to hit and they check their swing. That means they're ready. So far, of the Royals tonight, in the 6th inning here.
That was a hard swing.
Yeah, that was a hard swing, but too bad he hit it in the wrong part of the yard. That's 5 hard checks that Dale Swaim talked about. He learned that term from Tony Muser, former Royals manager. That was a little cutter that left that up, and you could see Infante, he thought he might get more out of it than that. But that's the right idea. Stay aggressive. Dale Swaim's done a fantastic job as a hitting coach. Having these guys focus up in the zone, hunt your pitch and don't miss it. Become the offensive force that Dayton Moore has believed that this offense could provide for that great starting pitching.
One and one to Alex, who is 0 for 2. Pineda thought about grabbing it with his bare hand. It's Headley, the 3rd baseman, because of the shift. He gets Alex. It's a 9-pitch inning for Pineda. Baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. The selection is bigger and the prices are lower at Thoroughbred Ford. 1-0 Royals. Bottom of the 6th inning, and this is a little earlier than normal. Gerard Dyson coming on and taking over in center field, shifting Lorenzo Cain over to right. So Aoki's out, and it may have come earlier than normal tonight because Aoki just batted in the 6th inning. So the chances of him hitting in the next inning are slim with the way Pineda's pitching. So Ned gets 3 at-bats out of Aoki and now upgrades the defense. James Shields has allowed 3 base runners in 5 innings. He retired the first 11 Yankees. Gardner doubled, and then Beltran was hit by a pitch. Shields got out of that, and then last inning Headley hit a 2-out single, and that's all the offense for New York. And now they begin their 3rd time through the order. Ellsbury is grounded to second base and flied out to center field.
That pitch count is a beautiful thing. Next pitch will be his 60th.
Ellsbury is one of 5 Yankees in the lineup tonight that has 40 or more at-bats in his career against James Shields. I was talking to Ned Yost tonight about the longer this goes, who has the advantage, pitcher or hitter? And I think the conventional thinking would be hitter. But Ned said if the pitcher is making pitches, he continues to have the advantage. Pitches like that. I mean, how many at-bats do you have to have against James Shields to be able to hit that pitch?
Ooh, man, I'm
200.
Yeah, that 2-seamer starting in, that'll freeze any left-handed batter. He sees it, he says that's an inside fastball, and then the movement on that 2-seam brought it right over the inside part of the corner. Great pitch.
Jeter has grounded out twice. That got Sal.
Right off that left knee.
All the flash bulbs popping now that it's night. So many Yankee fans have watched Jeter over the years, and every night you figure there are fans, this is their last time to Yankee Stadium, so trying to capture some image.
Those are nice numbers against James Shields in your career. 277, that's pretty solid.
3-2.
Almost got him to bite at that.
Over to the hole. James Shields has faced 20 batters tonight, and only 4 have gotten the ball out of the infield. You can still follow every Royals game through the season's end with the MLB.com At the Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. It's available on your smartphone or tablet. You'll get live look-ins, replay reviews, scores, stats, live radio broadcast, the MLB.TV game of the day, and more. Just download At Bat on the App Store or visit Royals.com/mobile today. Gardner taking a shot at that short porch and right. Kane to the wall. He's got it. And that's the danger of this ballpark. And Gardner almost took advantage of that. Kane just saved the game. Woo! We have the AT&T fan photo of the game sent in by Stevie. And remember, by using hashtag KC fan photo, you can have yours shown during an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
A lot of fans holding their breath on this one. Lorenzo Cain is able to get it before he got to the wall, but if there is a chance to climb that wall, I think you're better off, as James Shield goes, whoo, you're better off having Lorenzo Cain out there. He's a lot taller than Aoki. Go over that wall and bring it back. Salvi's been all over the baseball tonight. 2 hard line drives. In Spanish, they call that a línea.
Two and one. Sal's hit in 6 straight with the 2 hits off of Pineda. Pineda, by the way, hasn't thrown more than 96 pitches this year. Yankees, despite his success, have been very careful with that surgically repaired right shoulder. He had that surgery back in 2012. Did not make one appearance for the Yankees in 2012 or 2013. Out to Jeter. He gets a big hop. And Sal is out for the first time. That was a trade that surprised a lot of people. Michael Pineda had just gotten to the big leagues. Highly touted pitching prospect with the Mariners. He got to Seattle in 2011 and was impressive. But the Mariners, they needed some offense. The Yankees needed some starting pitching, so Michael Pineda to New York and Jesus Montero to the Seattle Mariners. And you talk about trades, the best trades are the ones that work for both teams. This was a trade that was a disaster for both teams, as Pineda missed 2012 and 2013. So he's back, and now it's just been a disaster for the Mariners.
Yeah, some trades work out, some don't. Get an arm like this, guys, you're going to take a chance on him. Stay with him, get him well. And showing some hard sliders in, down and in on lefties all night. Haas looking for that one mistake. Good swing on a fastball there at 93.
He is grounded back to Pineda, who made a good play on what was a force out, and then Pineda struck him out. Another good swing. It's only been 8 starts for Pineda this year with the Yankees, but he has not allowed more than 2 runs in any of those starts. And the only run he's allowed tonight has been an unearned run. Two down. And now Pineda has retired 10 in a row in 12 of the last 13.
Both pitchers tonight showing quality stuff. Stuff equates to velocity and action on the baseball. Knew it was going to be a low scoring game coming in. Nail biter.
So now Pineda is at 96 pitches. And season high number 97. Billy took a wicked swing and he missed 0-1. Out to Drew. So Pineda goes 7 innings. Gives up just an unearned run. It's stretch time in New York. The Royals lead 1-0. and outdoors. Still 1-0 Royals. Royals got that lone run back in the third inning, an unearned run against Michael Pineda. James Shields has pitched 6 scoreless innings. And now Pineda takes us around the league. Now, good news, bad news in Detroit. The good news is obvious. The bad news is they've been in a long rain delay. And in looking at the radar, that rain isn't going to stop anytime soon. And since they've only gotten the game into the third inning, that game could be totally washed out. So we'll see. Cleveland and Chicago are tied at 1. Baltimore, Tampa Bay. No score in the top of the 6th inning. Baltimore leading the Yankees by 9.5 games. And Seattle shooting for a wild card spot. Got a home run from Kendrys Morales and lead Texas 2-0.
Yeah, but you know, if they do have to play that again, that's another doubleheader for them. Those can be really tough this time of year for teams. Tax the pitching.
James Shields tonight has faced 21 hitters, and only 4 have gotten the ball out of the infield. The 2 hits and a couple of flyouts. 3 flyouts. One of those almost went out of the ballpark. That short 314 up the right field line. Lorenzo Cain made the play with his back up against the wall against Gardner. Could have tied the game at 1. It'll be Carlos Beltran, Brian McCann, and Mark Teixeira.
Interesting. We had his warm-up pitches. We had the clock on him. We had the radar gun on him, and you can see he's throwing some 83s and 84 for warm-ups. He's not going to go ahead and go full tilt. Just loosen that arm up. Change-up's been his strikeout pitch tonight.
Beltran was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning and struck out against Shields in the 2nd. That leads Hosmer right to the bag. 1 down. And let's go to Joel.
Ryan, Tickets for Less, your trusted source for all Royals and Chiefs tickets, has great seats at affordable prices for this Sunday's Chiefs game versus the Titans. Tickets for Less also has red and gold parking passes in stock. Tickets for Less has convenient pickup options all weekend long. Before you buy Chiefs tickets, you need to check out ticketsforless.com. Nice to see a lot of Royals fans here in New York. You guys have been talking about some of those scores, and we'll hope that Mother Nature can cooperate and let that game resume in Detroit with San Francisco up big. Other news, I don't know if you saw it, was that Paul Konerko is out at least a week with a hand fracture. The White Sox are still hopeful that he'll be able to play before the end of the season, while Derek Jeter's number retirement ceremony will receive a lot of coverage here. We'll be in Chicago for Paul Konerko's final days.
Moustakas makes a play on McCann, and they're 2 down. It'll be strange playing the Yankees and no Derek Jeter, and it'll be strange playing the White Sox with no Paul Konerko.
We'll have to make room for that 2 somewhere.
They'll make room. Before this year, all those retired Yankee numbers and the only single digits that had not been retired were together during the same era. Jeter, of course, number 2, and Joe Torre, number 6. And earlier this year, the Yankees honored their former manager who went into the Hall of Fame. They retired his number 6, and appropriately enough, right next to his former closer, that's a double retired number, Mariano Rivera and Jackie Robinson. Mariano Rivera was the last player to wear number 42. Look at all those retired numbers.
No single digits left.
Dellin Betances getting ready for the 8th inning. So on one hand you say, oh great, let's get Pineda out of the game. And then that guy comes out of the bullpen.
Yep. Maybe at the end of his career they retire the number 68 if he stays a Yankee. Robertson, their closer, is a free agent at the end of the year. This guy's a closer in waiting.
Three and two. Shields has not walked anybody. The Yankees aren't the typical walk machine high on base percentage Yankees. They were actually tied with the Royals in on base percentage when the game started. That is the 3rd strikeout of the night for Mark Teixeira and 6 for James Shields in 7 scoreless innings.
Tex, you got to go.
Royals, it may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler, Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, with director Steve Kurtenbach. Our producer tonight is Christian Roberts, along with associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, Dave Holtzman, and the producer of Royals Live is Brian Shapiro. And this, and the Chevy call to the bullpen, is Dellin Betances. And if it doesn't work out for him here, the Giants and Jets would probably like to take a look at him. And after that, maybe the Knicks.
Well, you wonder why he wears number 68, because he is 6'8", 260 pounds. That's what he's listed at. Power fastball, mid to upper 90s, slider, pretty good overhand curveball.
Moustakas was 0 for 2 against Pineda.
Betances is an extreme strikeout pitcher. Of his 243 outs this season, 122 of them have come on a strikeout.
And there's a little extra connection for the fans with Betances because he is from here. Born in New York, in Washington Heights. He was on his way to Vanderbilt when the Yankees signed him in '06. Moustakas strikes out, and there's one down in the 8th inning. Let's check in with Joel.
Well, tomorrow the Royals will face the Yankees again on Fox Sports 1. Our Mazda Game Break takes a look at the pitching matchup. And Danny Duffy, the ERA has been great all year long. And don't worry about him pitching in the national spotlight. Pitched just fine on Sunday Night Baseball. Another game for Danny. Brandon McCarthy has really resurrected his season. Came over from Arizona where he was struggling, and he has been really, really good. The call of that game, guys, tomorrow will be Ryan's old buddy Darren Sutton. A couple kids I think that probably grew up in the clubhouse together. And Tom Verducci, who was on Hy-Vee Royals Live, who said, yeah, I love what the Royals are doing right now, but I predicted them to win the division before the season started. And your buddy Darren, Ryan, was saying, hearing about these Royals teams and how long it's been reminds me of some of the teams when you hear the names that my dad used to go up against. His dad, of course, the Hall of Famer Don Sutton.
I remember those names back when you could name teams' lineups year after year after year, 1970s and 1980s.
So Sutton was one of those kids in the locker room with you.
Oh yeah, we've got pictures together. I think I was 1 and he was 2.
What a
father-son game. And
experience for you.
Of course, his dad is in broadcasting and has been for a long time, radio broadcaster for the Braves. Back-to-back strikeouts for Betances, Moustakas, and Kane.
Now Betances, he has given up 4 home runs this year, all 4 of them to right-handed batters. Go figure. Giving up a home run to a left-handed batter.
James Shields has just barely thrown 80 pitches. At this rate, he might be able to pitch 10 or 11 innings if the Royals need him.
Well, I'm telling you, that's really solid on his part, getting some early count outs. He's got tremendous stuff tonight. He's a workhorse.
Escobar with 1 out in the 3rd inning, reached on a fielding error by the 3rd baseman Headley, and then surprised the Yankees by taking 2nd on the same play. Aoki drove him in, and that's all the offense tonight as far as runs go. It was not an easy play for Headley, but it went right by his glove without a bad hop, so the official score ruled it an error. It easily could have been a hit. Royals are without a hit since the 4th inning. Jeter backhands, still has some arm and gets Escobar. Shields back to the mound in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still 1-0 KC.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. James Shields has lived up to his big game James mantra as he has just baffled the Yankees. 7 strong innings so far. He's still in the game. 6 punch-outs. Hadn't allowed a walk. Changeup's been extremely effective for big game.
He has allowed 2 hits. And he's now faced 24 batters. And only 5 have hit the ball out of the infield. And now the lower third of the Yankees order coming up. It's been a great pitch, his changeup. Stephen Drew has struck out and flied out to left field. Prior to these 2 at-bats, Stephen Drew had been 7 out of 14 against Shields with a home run. Shallow right field. And 1 down in the 8th inning. Well, a good bullpen is usually a well-rested bullpen. Academy Sports and Outdoors shows us our leaderboard for tonight. The fewest innings thrown by a bullpen this year, and that applies to the Royals. And that number will stay steady tonight, and if there's any addition to it, it could be minimal with the way Shields is going. As he throws his strike to Headley, he still hasn't thrown 90 pitches, and we have 1 down in the 8th inning.
Painting the corners.
Headley was the star last night, hitting a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 9th inning against the Red Sox Koji Uehara. Yankees tied the game with a home run in the 9th inning, and then Headley won it with his home run. And he has one of the 2 hits tonight. Really tied him up, man.
You know, Uehara, I watched that game. That forkball was just hanging up there. It was floating. And you know, I always believed that the Royals could have got to Uehara a few times because he's not an overpowering closer. He's closing games for the Boston Red Sox, and they got him. Back-to-back hitters. Hanging split fingers.
That stays fair, and Hosmer will take it to the bag himself. 2 down in the 8th inning. David Robertson, Yankee closer, gets ready just in case. Royals bullpen inactive.
This is the best command I've seen James's pitches all year. From start to finish.
And now he's 0-2 with Suzuki, who has grounded out to third twice. This has not been a friendly place for Shields. Prior to tonight, those 6 losses tie him with Mark Burley for the most at this ballpark, but you couldn't tell tonight. He has the most losses in his career against the Yankees, 16. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this year against the Yankees at Kauffman Stadium, he had a very good start and a not so good start. And this surpasses the good one. This is a great one. As a Royal, Shields is 1-0 here. Escobar, big hop. Suzuki is out, and that is 8 scoreless innings for James Shields, and he's just barely over 90 pitches. 1-0 KC. Off the 9th inning as the Royals lead 1-0. Well, the fans were thinking along with us. Our sprint question of the night: who is the toughest starting pitcher the Royals will face on this trip? And overwhelmingly voting for Max Scherzer, but I had thrown out there, just for conversation's sake, what are the chances that Justin Verlander has the lowest number, as shocking as that might be, and he does. Just 8% thought that Verlander would be the toughest starting pitcher the Royals will see on this trip.
Our fans are up on it.
David Robertson does come on with the Yankees trailing 1-0. It'll be Dyson, Infante, and Gordon. The only run scored by the Royals tonight was an unearned run. And the Royals have never won a 1-0 game at either Yankee Stadium.
Robertson doesn't quite throw as hard as Betances, whom he's taking over for. But Robertson's got an 87-94 fastball, power curve, occasional changeups to lefties. Insurance run would be really special. Dyson wanting to stay on top of that ball, pressure that defense into throwing him out.
Oh, 0-2. Interesting. Wade Davis is the one warming up.
Doesn't look like he's in too much of a hurry.
Three-pitch strikeout. Robertson gets Dyson one down. That is known as Robertson's Snap Dragon curveball. Doesn't sound like a very hittable pitch.
Nope. I remember Lee Smith, he called his slider a Snapdragon. Power curve. Whatever you call it, it's tough to hit it.
Off the end of the bat. And Suzuki brings it down 2 away. Infante is 0 for 4. David Robertson, the first full-time Yankee closer after the retirement of Mariano Rivera. No pressure.
Yeah, they'll have a decision to make in the offseason whether they bring him back or not. He'll be a free agent.
Curveball for a strike to Alex. Alex is 0 for 3 tonight. In the bottom of the ninth, the Yankees have the top of the order: Ellsbury, Jeter, Gardner, and if anybody gets on, Beltran. One and one. One and two. Interesting timing. The first year that Rivera is gone, the Yankee bullpen is putting together one of the most impressive seasons in Major League history. Not Yankee history, Major League history. Right now, they're getting about just under 30% of their outs. The Yankees bullpen have been strikeouts. That's the best percentage in history. And that just missed. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
A lot of that is the emergence of Dellin Betances.
No swing. Lance Barksdale is the third base umpire. 3-2 on Alex, with Perez next. So Robertson strikes out 2 in his inning after Betances struck out 2 in his inning. James Shields goes for the shutout when we come back. Going for his second shutout this year. And looking back on his first strikeout, August the 9th at Kauffman Stadium against the San Francisco Giants, where he allowed just 4 hits, only 1 walk, and only 109 pitches. It ended with that strikeout against Pablo Sandoval, and then Shields, knowing that the bullpen needed some rest, saluted the bullpen, and that's what they've had tonight. A lot of guys just kicking back with their feet up and enjoying big game James tonight.
Beautiful thing to see that his first game 1 of this road trip, especially James Shields. Marvelous stuff. 3 more.
So he'll get Jacoby Ellsbury, who is 0 for 3, Derek Jeter, who is 0 for 3, and Brett Gardner, who is 1 for 3 with a double and a flyout, which he almost hit over that short wall in right field.
Yankee fans are getting a little bit restless. Trying to come alive here.
Ellsbury after the first pitch. Routine for Alex. 1 down. Coming up after the game, it's Boulevard Royals Live. It won't take very long to talk about the offense tonight. There's only been 1 run so far. But a lot of talk about the pitching. A lot of talk about James Shields no matter what happens here in the 9th inning. Also Michael Pineda. He went 7 innings and allowed just 1 unearned run. Jeter is grounded out 3 times. Once to short, once to Shields, and once to second. Shields has now faced 28 hitters tonight, and only 7 have gotten the ball out of the infield. Dominant. One and one.
Jeter still with a short, quick swing. Hits that ball to right center field. That's where he lives, inside out.
Center field, and the tying run is on as Jeter just reached out and poked it into center field for his first hit.
That's all he did. 2-strike approach. That ball's on the outer half of the plate. Just reached out and touched it. Guiding it in there.
Jeter is out for a pinch runner. And this is Antoine Richardson, who is the Yankees version of Gerard Dyson, or maybe even Terrence Gore. Minor leaguer called up just for his speed to come on in situations like this. And Ned Yost will not allow 1 swing to allow James Shields to be a losing pitcher tonight. So if the tying run on, the potential winning run at the plate, Ed goes to the bullpen and brings on Wade Davis.
Interesting. Just get her done. 2 more outs, whatever it takes.
James Shields, 97 pitches. That's not a big number for him, but Ed Yost did not want to put him in a position where he could be the losing pitcher with the tying run on. But here is a surprising move. Wade Davis, who does not have a major league save, comes on with the tying run at first base, the potential winning run at the plate, and just one down in the 9th inning.
Yep, little interesting first thoughts are, do you think Holland's okay health-wise? But we don't know those things, and Wade Davis certainly has the stuff to get it done. 2 outs. We've seen him come in and blow guys away with that mid-90s fastball, cuts it, overhand curveball.
Richardson is the runner at first, and Davis misses high, ball 1. Remember, Wade Davis with the Rays was mostly a starter, so a lot of the Yankees have seen quite a bit of him, including Gardner. He has 6 hits in 13 at-bats, and he's walked 5 times. Only one of those 6 hits have gone for extra bases. Started to go. 2 balls and no strikes.
Brett Gardner has only grounded into 3 double plays this year.
Ed Yost knows what the first question will be for him as soon as the game's over tonight.
Regardless.
2-1. Davis did disengage from the rubber.
Salvador Perez has thrown out 28.8% of runners. Strong arm, we all know that.
And with his speed, Richardson has a short lead. Davis still makes it close with a quick throw over to first. Day off yesterday. Davis pitched on Wednesday in the Texas series and only threw 7 pitches. Holland also threw Wednesday and threw 14 pitches. Runner goes, and the pitch goes back to the screen. So Richardson gets a stolen base without a throw. Boy, that thing hit something hard behind home plate. And fortunately for the Royals, it hit something hard and bounced right back to Salvador Perez. With Richardson going, if that thing hits and kicks right or left, very easily could be a runner at third base right now with 1 out.
Could be a little bit of luck. Looked like it skipped off the home plate. He's going on the pitch. Wade Davis, just his 2nd wild pitch of the year. Royals, strong arms in the outfield. They'll be tested on a base hit.
Just threw it right by him, 98 miles an hour. You know, on one hand, you say Gardner is 6 out of 13 against Wade Davis. That was the other Wade Davis. That was Wade Davis, 93, 94, 95 miles an hour as a starter. It's like facing a different pitcher. Struck him out. Davis comes back from 3-1. 2 down in the 9th inning.
Oh, way to go. Back to the bread and butter. Get in a situation like this, You're closing the ball game. You're going to go with your best pitch. That's his fastball, and he just challenged him. Said, here it comes, right down the middle. Hit it or miss. Just foul tipped it right into Salvi's glove. Big time challenge right there.
Carlos Beltran has only faced Davis once, and Wade struck him out. Inside. That was close. Wasn't where Salvi was set up, but it looked like it was very close to the strike zone.
Sure was.
Look out. Beltran is 2 out of 17 against the Royals this year. Just about to say that there's Shields sweating it out in the Royals dugout, but he is far from sweating it out. Had a chance for his 10th career shutout. Jeter blooped a single into center field with 1 out, and that's when Ned Yost brought on Davis and not Holland. 1-2.
Filthy curveball. Wade Davis uses that curveball to keep those guys off of his cut fastball and his straight four-seamer.
Whoa. Man, how do you lay off that pitch? Unless maybe you were looking for something else.
He's looking middle, no doubt, but that ball is borderline.
I mean, woo.
Yeah. Good spot for Davis. Stay hard away from him.
Yeah. Struck him out looking. James Shields is the winner. Wade Davis gets his first major league save, and the Royals win at Yankee Stadium 1-0 for the first time ever. KCW, and the Royals are 17 games above 500 for the first time this year.
Shocked the house. It was timely. James Shields pitching his best game of the season, at least the best stuff he's had. He's always going to compete. But to start this road trip off in game 1 here in the Bronx with OW, the way it happened, wow. Beautiful exhibition of pitching by Royals tonight.